Hi guys, Damon.82, and I am back here once again with my buddy I am Mark3. Say hello, Ion.
Hello.
We are reviewing another craft from Ipersons today, and it is a hydrofoil torpedo boat. The description that Ipersons gave us is fast and deadly, armed with two 11-meter long large HE torpedoes, and it's got 36 3-meter EMP missiles. I'm assuming those are probably small. Uses custom jet engines for main propulsion, equipped with decoys for defense. He calls it the PCH 40 Lancerii class. Its preferred targets are anti-surface and anti-subs. So we haven't actually had any look at this just yet. Again, we're just trying to go with honest reactions here. Something that I would like to note just right off the bat is this is a even blocked craft here, and that's something that you see fairly rare and from the depths.
I didn't spot that at first, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning it.
Yeah, I built a bomber very similar to this kind of setup right here. Torpedo Bomber, actually. It looks like, yes, he does have some, I can't tell if that's a, yep, it's a large custom jet engine, actually.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's got custom jet engines in this thing, the 3x3 meter ones.
Hey. No, I did not know that at all because I hadn't looked inside yet.
He did some fairly wacky Tetrising here with trying to get the ducks to where they'd be in a good position to draw air, but yeah.
That's what you got to do with the intake sometimes.
Yep, he does have generators in this, so he doesn't have a fuel engine whatsoever in here, but that's perfectly fine. I do believe I saw some ion thrusters here on the bottom. I guess that's just to try to give him some roll control, maybe a bit of lift.
Might be an emergency thing for if the hydrofoils get damaged.
That makes sense too, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, they are set to roll. Yeah.
AIPIDs, which I'm not surprised. Those things seem kind of a mystery to me, depending on what I'm building.
A miss or a mystery, did you say?
Mystery, because it seems like the only thing that I've actually or I guess I should say the most success I've had with them is using them on like aircraft, and I haven't really used them much beyond that.
This is interesting. I didn't realize you could connect PIDs directly to each other instead of to...
Yeah, I found that out too when I was tinkering with some.
The more you know.
Yeah. Torpedoes look particularly nasty. See here. Yeah, those are going to be kind of hard to stop. They got like 25,000 health, give or take, and 82k explosive damage. Yeah, these are definitely going to hurt. He does his torpedoes way bigger than I do. Nothing wrong with that. I just try to keep the launchers as compact as possible.
I think this is it's meant to be either engaging small things or engaging big things with support.
I'm kind of thinking some kind of a harassing unit for a larger force, so yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean, that would explain it if it's not meant to be taking the hits, because like the Predator we saw last time, this one is built to be as compact as it can while doing the job that it's intended for. So that explains why the launchers are in a bit of a fragile position. But the anti-air launchers, well, actually they're just general purpose, aren't they? These EMP missile launchers. But they are well protected.
Yes. I really love the hatches, and I try to use them as often as I can, even though they're a little expensive, but they have pretty good health and armor.
Which is good, honestly. Did they improve that?
Yes. I think it was always that way, but
No, it wasn't at first.
yeah.
It wasn't at first. But yeah, that's good. Something else I didn't know.
I've actually done similar configurations with the torpedoes being launched like this, but what I have done in the past is I'll take like a mimic or a decoration block of something like maybe a boiler, just have it stretch the whole length of, cover up the torpedo just to make it look like it's launching out of a torpedo tube. I mean, what he's doing here, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something that I like to do with my stuff.
Oh, I get what you're saying. One thing I would like to draw your attention to, if you've not spotted it though, is how he's done the ejectors on his decoy.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah, mounting them sideways into each other like that. It does add to the appearance of the vessel, like a little bit of exposed mechanism.
Yes. But I imagine he also wasn't able to place anything in front of them because the torpedoes would have probably bounced off of it and caused all kinds of problems launching.
Yeah, but a particular note though is the fact he didn't put a decoration over them.
Yeah, you could totally hide that with a decoration, and we probably would have never known unless we stripped away the structural blocks.
Yeah, I already did that. It would have stuck out then, but no, he's kept them purposefully on display.
But again, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm commending him for it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I like to have exposed mechanisms and things.
should we let this thing go and see how she performs?
I would like to point out very briefly the beach ball on the roof.
Yeah. I thought that was...
I thought it was a ball or something when I first saw it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how he did his munitions detection system here. I might have to borrow that.
What even is that?
It sphere shape. You can get that out of the Mimic UI. You just literally type in sphere.
Ah, I'd forgotten about that one.
I've actually used it for some turrets on that, what was it, the Firestorm Bomber for my machine gun turrets that are all over it. But yeah, let's see how this thing works. Made it out of light alloy, so no chances of this thing sinking ever. Maybe we had to give it some movement ores just to see how fast it goes?
Go for it. I was just checking to see what it's configured to do. It's there's an AI routine in here called Torpedo Run, which I think is the bombing run modified slightly and renamed once again.
It's not moving.
Well, it's not lack of materials. Maybe it's what mode is the AI in?
I set it up for patrol mode, but it doesn't seem to be responding to it. Actually, it doesn't have any materials, Ian.
I just F5s to give materials.
Really, because when I was looking at the UI, it didn't show any.
Maybe it's
Multiplayer shit, probably.
Oh,
there we go. Maybe it just took a while for the ones that you put in.
I think it just drifted out of range before I hit F5. It does have a sharp range on that.
I don't know if it's intended to fly like this, but I imagine it doesn't hurt things at all.
Probably not, as long as it's stable.
Going about 100. I see it going up to maybe about 110 meters a second on a good run.
No,
yeah.
It's not flying. It's
it was for a moment, but I think it was just the way it was trying to make that turn there.
Yeah, probably. Energetic little bugger, isn't it?
Oh yeah. This thing would be very hard to kill unless you're probably using railguns or some kind of hit scan weapon.
Missiles might be able to chase it down as well. Unlike the Prejudice.
Yeah, a lot of missiles could outrun this.
Yeah, it does have the decoys, but the question is how long they'll keep it safe. So it can endure some, I would say.
Yeah. But this would make a very, very good support craft. Let's see how much it costs. 53k. That's negligible.
Yeah,
Cheapish.
same as the Predator, honestly.
Yeah.
Just checking its material consumption. This thing does burn at a rate where it might not be comfortable early on. A little bit. I mean, it's running at like 3 odd materials per second just to keep it running. So I'd say it's like it should probably be with like some kind of early fleets rather than by itself.
Yeah.
Because if it's by itself, it might material out and just stop working completely, which you wouldn't want.
I'm kind of tempted to build something like this myself.
Well, that's one of the reasons we do this, though, isn't it?
Yes. And again, as I said before, we're not doing this to steal ideas. We're doing this because we want to review stuff for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing this because we wish to spread the inspiration far and wide.
Yes.
Ignore the sheaf of notes I've taken on the design and how to do it.
Yes.
Not related at all.
Should we spawn in something, give it some combat testing?
We should. Let me complete my ritual in these multiplayer games and kill the starter nodes.
Okay. How about I let you choose the design of fights this time?
You're more familiar with them than I am.
Okay, fair enough.
I've always been a bit shaky on designs. Well, the built-in designs, rather, I should say. More buildy, less time spent shooting at things.
Let's try a rapier. I'm not familiar with the designs in current, but in 2.4.9 I could probably tell you what everything is. Yeah, I just noticed. Damn it.
You keep doing that.
I know, I hate myself for doing it too. It's too easy to do. Anyway, let's try this shit again. There goes the EMP missiles. They must have a pretty good range on them if they can hit a target that's 2 kilometers out. And it should also be noted though that that thing, the way it sits above the waves like that, they'll practically be immune to torpedoes, I think. That and the speed alone.
I did just have to set it back to its default 8 though. To the skies, apparently.
It seems more of
a... I was sure we got a plane.
I was about to say, it almost seems to me more like we got a hovercraft than a torpedo boat here.
I'm pretty sure I know why it's doing that as well. It's just the it's just the ion engines underneath it that are lifting it up like that.
It very well could be. If he had like something to give a little counter thrust to the top of this,
yeah, if it was stabilized rather than just like all downwards.
But again, this isn't something that would necessarily negatively affect it in combat. I mean, this could potentially be very useful, being able to fly kind of like this. It seems like it still maintains control whenever it's airborne, aside from going back down, of course.
Yeah. It's acting more like a thrustercraft than a hydrofoil, so
yeah.
Part of me wonders if this is not as intended.
I think it could very well be intended, because being able to change altitude would be a great way of getting missed shots from APS or missiles.
But yeah, if this is what it's meant to do though, then why bother with the hydrofoils? You know?
You make a good point.
Because if the hydrofoils aren't there to be used, then basically that's just like a section of weakened armor on the underside. Dead.
Very lonely design there.
No, I mean the hostile is still sitting.
Oh, I thought it was dead.
Oh, is it not up there for you?
Did it run out of materials, or yeah, it's still up here for me.
Shall we just say multiplayer and shrug?
No, actually, I think I know what the deal is. if you
No
look
way
at it, the AI in this thing is gone, so it doesn't have anything to lock onto.
The EMP missiles must have got it.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What was the cost of that craft you brought in? What was it?
Let me check in the 63K, give or take.
So,
Almost
roughly
64.
Equivalent vessel, slightly more expensive, but it got very soundly beaten.
I could see this working on a lot of early and mid-game designs pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the EMP for armored targets, it's got the raw explosive damage to punch through everything else. So.
Very efficient design, I think.
Yeah, well, just like the Predator, Ipersons getting small purpose-built designs, it looks like. Now, this thing is noted as being anti-surface and anti-submarine.
Yeah. Do we want to try it against the submarine then?
Do you know one offhand that you can bring in?
I could probably find one, yeah.
Actually, wait, isn't there a category for that now in the enemy spawn?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. That feat is something less impressive.
I don't think we want this going up against any godly Steel Strider submarines.
Probably not, I would say.
Let's see here, which one of these is the cheapest. I think we'll try one of these black tip sharks. I'm just going to move the camera over here so I can get a look at it before it gets blown to bits. Oh, this thing's got a pack in it. That could be a problem.
That might be a bit of a problem, yeah.
Though it dodged that shot pretty well.
At this range, though, the pack will probably suffer against a small design like this.
Oh, it got a hit in that time. We might want to retry that with a different submarine then, I think. I didn't realize that this thing had a pack in it.
Well, it had anti-submarine missiles as well. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, get the nose blown off of it.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough torpedoes to get past the torpedo defenses this submarine's got.
Yeah, it's like a hard design, so
it's too much for what this thing is built for. At least alone.
how about we just restart the game and I find something a little more...
Wait, what's too damaged? The submarine sank the boat.
Yeah. Anyway,
why is there a torpedo? Why is there a harpoon attached to the submarine?
You haven't seen this before?
No.
Basically, what a lot of people have been doing is they have decoys that are on the end of a harpoon, and yeah, that's...
They just drag it behind their own vehicle?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It's something that a lot of people have been seeing the Megalodon doing, so I imagine just about everyone's probably been replicating the idea.
I love it.
Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and restart the match, and we'll find a different submarine for this thing to fight. So...
to remember that decoy on the harpoon thing.
Also, like with his Predator that we done previously, I'm going to try to have a link in the description for you guys so you can have a look at it yourself.
Yeah, same. We're doing that with these two from Ipersons, by the way, because he submitted them as Steam Workshop links for us to use, so he already had them out on the workshop. That's also why the previous two before that, the Athena and... I've forgotten the name again. What was it?
I have a hard time remembering it too. Holstein, that was it.
That's the one, Holstein. I knew it was Holst something. I'm not deliberately trying to forget, by the way, I just tend to have a bad memory with names sometimes. But yeah, those two we didn't provide direct links to the craft because they were mods. given to us as Steam Workshop links.
Okay, I'll just bring in a bunch of these P-quads and we'll see how they do.
P-quads?
Yes.
They're friendly.
God damn.
That's one UI thing I wish they would change.
Yes.
Well,
just don't tell them to their face, because then they'll say you're being mean to them.
Yeah.
And not listen to you altogether.
I think, to be fair though, I think it's specifically a multiplayer designer thing, because in single you're on team, in multiplayer you're default guard.
Yeah. Still, it's a pain in the butt.
A little bit. It'd be a quality of life improvement.
Yeah, which they seem perfectly fine with those. But I'm just going to stop there, because I'm just going to go on a rant.
Yeah. You better stop before we get ourselves started.
These don't seem to be diving. And they show up in the UI as submarines. I don't know if I would call these submarines,
Maybe
though.
they're not floating.
Pequod's actually been around for a while.
Yeah, it looks vaguely familiar. I think one of them's dead actually, thanks to EMP missiles.
Yeah. Oh, there go the large torpedoes.
Well, that one missed. Yeah. To be honest, I noticed this trait in the large missiles on the Predator. The Ipersons didn't see fit to give them very much turning ability.
These do move kind of slowly, though, compared to some torpedoes that I've seen used. Or at least mine.
It's more like it's meant to get there, because they do have like a 45-second runtime on their propeller. That was unfortunate.
I think the Pequod was just too shallow for it to find its
the
target.
explosion knocked it out of the water.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This explosion knocked it out of the water, and the other torpedo just went right underneath it. But I don't have too many doubts that these torpedoes would actually be effective against submarines, especially because it has a ballast. Well, actually, hold on. I just had an idea. Can we restart this one more time? Ian?
I said yeah.
Oh, well, I must have cut you out or something.
Well,
anyway,
to be honest, I said of course, but
yeah,
you know.
I didn't pick it up for some reason. I do have a submarine of my own that we could test this against. That would be a little closer to its price range. I'll just go ahead and spawn in the hydrofoil, and let's see here.
The hammer?
Yeah, I know.
No, the hydrofoil's an enemy.
Yeah, I know. That was completely unintended, but I could still make it work. Anyway. That submarine might look familiar to you, I imagine.
Vaguely. Hello, Sardine Can, how are you? That is what we call this thing, isn't it?
I think Geo likened it to a bathtub.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
But so far it's doing very well dodging the large missiles from that submarine. But yeah, this is a design that I made on camera.
I remember.
Yeah.
It's one of the Blau ones.
Yep, I painted it up and I put some rubber on the bottom because submarines love to collide with underwater terrain. But yeah, I thought that was probably more in line of what Ipersons was intending for it to fight, and looks like I was correct.
Yeah, the first missile took out the power plant and the propellers.
Yep.
The main propellers. This thing could really do with a backup electric engine towards the front at the very least.
Probably could, yeah.
Yeah, just something to spread the power supply out a bit more. But hey, our Glout designs are full of flaws. But that's not what
we did throw them together in a rather rushed manner, in all fairness, so...
This is true. But, yeah, those torpedoes worked great against the submarine at that depth. So, one thing of note though, it is still firing the EMP missiles for some reason.
Probably because it's still detecting the submarine there. He might not have the local weapons controller set up correctly on that.
Yeah, I suspect not. I can't exactly check if it's hostile, but...
Yeah, I'll just end the match and bring it back in.
So yeah, it looks like the EMP missiles do need a look at their local weapon system, weapon controls. The ion engines do intend to launch it. Bug or feature that's only Ipersons can say, really. If that's what they're meant to do. But apart from those small niggling details, yeah.
Oh, I did it again. Damn it. Sorry.
No.
Let's see if fourth time will be the charm.
You're brightening my day.
Well, if there was like some kind of default setting that you could change these to, kind of nice.
Technically there is. It defaults to whatever you had them set to last.
Okay.
It's still hostile.
I had it set to player.
But we're not on the player team though.
Right. I hate this UI.
Yeah. Really could have used more work.
Okay, so Deepwater Guard.
Yep.
There we go. And we were just going to look at the EMP missiles. Yeah. Altitude bracket. Yeah. He has the lower end of the altitude bracket at -50. He might want to tighten that up a bit and have it go for stuff maybe just at maybe
10
yeah.
Is what I normally go for.
I do about 10 to 15 depending.
I normally go for -10 because if a boat that's sitting low in the water can hit that,
Yes.
it's a big one.
Yes.
The thing is though that as we saw those missiles circling above the water, they just aren't equipped to go after a submarine.
So what kind of configuration? Okay, active radar seeker.
Yeah, it's got nothing to let it go after a submarine.
I wonder though if this thing could be expanded a bit where it can drop a sonar buoy and have these torpedoes be remotely guided. You might have to expand the hull a bit to do that, but I think it could be interesting to try.
Turn this into the armor. You could replace the ion engines with that. There is room for it.
Yeah,
you need a buoy, you need the processing to run it. There is a little bit of space around the AI which could be expanded to hold the processing cars you need. And there is actually... The nose is solid armor, so you could easily tunnel a buoy launch system in there.
Again, I'm just spitballing ideas of things that could be done differently in this, depending on what you're fighting.
That's why I was taking a look inside to see where these things might fit. There is also a bit of... There's solid armor behind, well, to the rear of the EMP missile launchers where you can house some extra systems as well. So there is a little bit of internal space that could be repurposed.
I wonder if he would be opposed to using Deadly Blades for roll stabilization instead of ion thrusters. Since they can work in both directions and work under and above water.
Honestly, I would have gone with 4 small ion thrusters. That way it could counteract it without providing any lift force.
Yeah, he does look like he might have some room here up on top to it. It has some counter ion thrusters for the roll ones that he's got here on the bottom. That wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, you could just hide it behind some decorations or something if you didn't want to change the appearance of it.
Oh yeah. But very capable craft. I rather enjoyed looking it over. Is there any? I think we might have gotten to a good wrapping up point here, unless there's something you'd like to add.
Closing comments. Again, Ipersons has made a very effective small design. I'm sure it's specialised, but small designs often have to be. And it does do quite well.
Alright, well I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been Damadoggy 2 with I Am Mark 3 and the bi-monthly craft review. Let me just check the list here to see what we're probably going to be doing next. Looks like we'll be doing the Parallax from SMNK. Just recently been given the From the Depths of Veteran role on the Discord. Very deep builder. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Alright, well you guys have yourselves a hell of a day, and keep your hammer high. Later.
Later.